Join us as we explore a behind-the-scenes look at the vibrant world of creative expression as we connect with talented artists and discerning collectors.
This is your invitation to join us and follow along on an exciting and inspirational journey through the red doors.
I'm Lisa Condrey Ward. I'm the owner of the Southern Hotel, and this afternoon we're going to do a little tour of our personal home and take a look at some of the artwork. We have some of the same artists that are represented at the hotel in our home, and so come on inside. So we're inside the center hall. This house was built in 1902. It really hasn't been altered a lot over the years, which is nice. So we have all these wood walls, and it just feels like it's been here forever. Its garden is also very old structurally. There's a lot of history in this house. And so art related throughout this hallway. These pieces are tapestries. There's two of them, and they're actually from the 1600s. They were part of a huge series that was in a dining room in Belgium at one point, which I just like to imagine how spectacular, 20 of these around a room making these nature scenes must have been. There's Rebecca Rivachet, who's also featured at the hotel. That's her little picture at the bottom. I like everything, modern, the whole gamut. But what I really like, and you'll see, turns out to be landscapes. And I probably have too many landscapes, but I like all of them. Anything about how an artist can capture the natural world, I think, and make you put yourself in that scene, or it's a beautiful place that you would like to visit. That's usually what catches my eye. Scott Ewan, who did the giant horse painting at the hotel. This was that little one, second from the bottom, is a study he did. That's actually a larger painting, but I think he did that as a study originally. But you can see, landscapes everywhere. And then I have quite a few by Leslie Dudley, who is a local artist, dear friend. She also did a couple of the paintings at the hotel. She did the one that has a historic view of the hotel, as well as the one in the Olympia room. And then just, all kinds of things. Oh, she did that hurricane. She painted that right after Katrina. I think hurricanes were on her mind. This portrait of my husband and three of my sons was done by a local artist, Don Smith. He's not only does beautiful portraits, but he is a sculptor too. And the Art Fund, commissioned him to do a bust of Walker Percy that's now in the Covington Library. He's very, very talented. He did that from photographs and then just painted the background. And then here in the living room, this is another Scott Ewan, again, another landscape. He painted that originally, that was at the hotel, but I had to bring it home. So I wanted to keep that one here. This is a portrait of me that was painted years ago, an artist from New Orleans. And then this is an artist that, her name is Catherine Dunlop. I have a ton of her things. She was originally from Charleston. Now I think she lives in North Carolina. But there's something about her work. It's always just fresh and it's just happy. And I have tons of her things. When I'm collecting, I'm not a sophisticated collector. Like, I'm not thinking about an investment or anything like that. I just like what I like, and I like to support people who are artists. I'm so in awe that anybody can have a picture in their head or look at something and translate it, into a finished product. I have zero. I can't draw a straight line. So I'm very jealous that people have that talent. This is kind of a folk art type piece that I got here in Covington years ago. This is a Phil Sandusky. A lot of people may recognize him just because he's a New Orleans artist and paints a lot of classic New Orleans street scenes. This is a little painting. I grew up in Lake Providence, which is on a cotton farm, and it's the very northeastern corner of the state. And this was some little high school girl. She didn't even put her name on it. And if you've ever been to that corner of the state, it's as flat as it can be, and you can see 4 miles, and it's just big open fields, so the sky seems like it's huge. And I thought she just did a great job of evoking that whole area. But again, like I said, I don't even know who she was. So this folk art style piece is a Benjamin Bullen's. He's an artist in New Orleans, but I bought it at a gallery here in town. This is another Scott Ewan, growing up on Lake Providence, which is a beautiful lake in North Louisiana, ringed by cypress trees. I love that. And then this is the girl, Catherine Dunlop, both of these originally from Charleston. But again, lots of landscapes. I'll show you one painting that will ultimately go in the hotel expansion. And before we had actually committed to on paper, what that will look like. I saw this Ashley Longshore when she had her gallery in New Orleans, and it's 8 feet, and I just said, okay, this is the lobby. And because it's such a big painting, I was going to have them draw a wall that we knew would showcase this artwork. And so having that in my head just kind of helped set the tone of what the public space in the new expansion building would look like. And again, make the statement right away, just like the art collection at the hotel, is that this is a part of who the hotel is and part of any experience that somebody's going to have at the hotel. These silhouettes are art. It's just another form. There was a time, these are, I got these in Austria, and they are old, but I mean, look at the detail, and they are cutting these out of paper. And so any medium will speak to someone. And I think that that's the beauty of art, is that I don't think there's anybody out there that won't be moved in some way by a piece of art or a sculpture, that they come across. And it doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be precious, but it's worth investing. So this piece is a Babette Folio from Lafayette. I just think it brings a lot of life to an otherwise utilitarian space. It's actually a hallway. as well as this is a lady. She sources butterflies ethically and arranges them and sells her work all over the world. But again, you know, I mean, that's art too. This artist is from Fairhope, Bill Harrison. I love his work. I have a lot of his bigger pieces. Honestly, I got a lot of them. I loved his work, and I found out he had a bicycle accident and broke both of his arms, and he couldn't paint for a while. And a gallery that was carrying his work said, "Look, he's kind of stuck right now." And I was like, "Great, I will help you find people to buy his work." And so we wound up just people love his work, and it wasn't hard to do to get people to go and support him when he really needed it. And then this is a portrait of my mom, Mildred Condrey, that she had commissioned by an artist up in Monroe, Louisiana, years and years ago. When you are passionate about collecting artwork that catches your eye, eventually it spills over everywhere because you run out of walls. So this is kind of like the laundry room, workroom, but I have several of the Catherine Dunlop, again, the girl from South Carolina. She did that piece, these three here. And then this piece we got in Amsterdam years ago. But it's nice, you know, that's what I mean. I'm not a sophisticated art collector. I like having these pieces, and then when I look at them, I'm reminded of, oh yeah, we were at this festival, or we were on this vacation, or whatever, and it just it just brings joy and life, I think, to a house. And people who shouldn't get hung up on, oh, if I'm going to really collect art, I need to go learn all these things. I don't really feel that way. I mean, definitely there are people who know much more about art than I do. But I think people should choose the things that resonate with them, because that's how you make a house a home.